All right, guys, good morning. Let's go ahead and get airborne. We just knocked out our weekly debrief. Had to recharge my cup of coffee, and then we're back here for our Trade Hawk demo. It was supposed to be last week, or geez, I forget, whatever it was the week before, but I had some stuff I had to unfornicate on my end, so it wasn't Lex's fault. It was all my fault. And so we just rescheduled it. Great platform. As you guys know, I'm still tied up at E-Trade because I got portfolio margining there, and it's hard to leave 8 to 1. But hopefully Lex and his team are going to work on that, and we can get on over there. I know you guys have some questions for Lex. He's going to give a demo, and then you can ask questions along the way. And it is recorded, so before you even ask it, it's recorded, and I'll put it up on the Full Throttle page. So I'm just going to get out of Lex's way and stop squawking. So Lex, it is all yours, my friend, and thanks for coming back and doing this demo.
Absolutely. Thanks, Wiz. I appreciate it. So let me make sure I show my screen before I let you go here. So are we seeing that?
Good to go. Got the platform.
Okay. So I'll just go through an overview, right? Just a little quick, well, semi-quick, I suppose. So what you're looking at is my cockpit, my command center, right? So when I say I mean that you can certainly customize this space. Okay, and I've moved things around 100 times in here to get the place that I love to be every day. Okay, so just know that what you're seeing up here isn't necessarily the default. I just designed it this way. Okay, so you can move all these things around. The other thing you can do, I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff in here. You do not need to have all this stuff all the time. So if you want to remove something, there's these little X's that you can click on to remove modules and get it either down to bare brass tacks or amp it up with as much horsepower as you need to do. Okay, so all of the above works. You decide what you need and what you don't need in here, and then you set it as a default, which I have done. So this is one of my defaults. The good news about defaults is, look, inevitably I click on something, I'm moving fast, and I'm deliberately making a mess on this place. What's nice about that is when you have a default set, which is the first thing you should really do. There's a little button down there. I'm drawing all over the place, sorry, that you can click. And when you make a mess, you click default and it gets you right back to ground zero. Okay, so you get right back in where you were, no mess, no fuss. And don't forget, you can have many layouts. So we have a little layouts tab too. So if you click this up, I mean, I don't know how many that is, 15, 20 layouts. I chose the center layout myself. I named it myself. You can see I've got all kinds of different ones. These can be deleted. You can switch between them. So if I go here and activate, I get a different layout, right? Always able to get back to default easily. Okay. All right. So let's go around the board with this thing. We'll keep it simple. We're going to talk about just a little bit of stock trading, how to put an option trade in, both options and spreads. Some of the cool conditional type orders, and some of the other features, and I'll answer some questions. So I'm going to go around the board this way. I'm just going to start and kind of work around. They all interrelate. So my little cluster over on this left side, I have my balances. I have a watch list, or actually several watch lists. No, you can have many of these. Okay. In the watch list, it's simple. You just type in the symbol, hit enter on your keyboard. It goes in. Once you have these symbols in your watch list, and incidentally, you can put options. I'll show you that in a sec. You can put options to watch in here as well. Right clicks will do things. Okay, so the current version of 1.0, we're calling this TradeHawk 1.0. There's a lot of right click, left click kind of stuff. In 2.0, which will be coming out, probably mid next year, a lot more icon based. So just keep that in mind. For right now, left click, right click. It's not the end of the world. It's easy to use. So if you want to put an alert on something, you choose alert. You set your alert based on, bid, mid, ask, trade size, all that kind of good stuff, greater than, less than, or crosses. You can send this to SMS, which is just your smartphone, so it'll alert you on your smartphone if you're not in front of the computer, okay? And you just hit activate to do that. I won't do that because it will get all kinds of noises. It will alert you visually on the screen. You'll get a yellow bar that flashes. If you have audible speakers, it'll make a noise. It'll also send that text message for alerts. If you wanted to change everything, we had this question a lot lately for some reason, but if you want to change everything, so that would be your stock tower, your options chain, your chart. Okay, there's a little space up here. I don't know if you can see it. it says stock. Okay, you just type in there and everything will change. Okay, so people have been asking about that lately a little more. So if I hit, I'm in Apple now. So if I hit, let's just go eBay for fun. So notice it changes chart, going to change option chain, going to change the stock tower. Okay, so that's some details in the watch list. Again, you can update, you can get order tickets out of here. You can do certain kind of conditional orders, which are OTOCOs. We'll talk about that in a sec. You can update different templates from your watch list if you like. My preference, quite honestly, is if I'm in the option chain and I want to make a trade, and I want to go to Apple, we remember your watch list, okay, or things that you type in. So I just click on Apple and it's going to fill in Apple, okay. So now I'm in Apple in the option chain. So I tend to use it that way, but again, there's many ways to do that. Okay, let's talk about, before we get to the option, let's just talk about the stock tower. I'm not sure how many of you trade stock, but some folks do. So stock tower, I don't know if anyone's familiar with a tower. This is I was in the pro side of the business, meaning we were on the market making side. So we made markets. A lot of the stuff that we've brought to this platform comes from that experience, okay? And one of them is this vertical kind of representation of trading a little bit. It's really super efficient. So all the tower is it lists your prices of the stock right down the middle. We have an option tower as well, right? Now, again, I'm in eBay. And some of the notes are in this column on either side of the current stock price are these little green with the 12 in it. That's the best bid in the marketplace. The best offer is the little 2 lot right there. Now that hops around, right? As the market changes, that hops around. If you as a trader want to make a trade, all you need to do is find that space. Okay, you can use your mouse to scroll. Find that space on the chain. So if I wanted to pay $49.25, and I'm drawing terribly, apologize. I would just simply click in that box that aligns with that. Okay, it's very easy to do it super fast. So you got to be careful. I do not use confirmation dialogues. I'm just going to click in that box and see what happens. Notice that order went out just like that. Okay, so that order is in the marketplace. Why am I not filled? Because the market is trading a little higher than where I put my order. Okay, that order is shown visibly here, 100 shares. I can cancel it with just a right click on that. I can cancel it with cancel buys. Or it also appears in my order panel, which I keep open and in the middle because that's all of my working orders. Okay, so keep in mind the order panel can be filtered for filled orders, cancel, rejects, you know, all kinds of conditional orders, etc. I like to keep it on open, which to us means working. Okay, so these are the orders I have working in the market. Notice the eBay order right here. It's this 100 lot, 100 shares I'm trying to buy at $49.25. Same $49.25 right there. If I wanted to cancel it, I could use the red X here, or a right click, which I'll do. Okay, so I right clicked, canceled, it's gone, not in my order panel, not on the tower anymore. Okay, easy thing to remember with this tower when you use towers. The only place you can place a buy order is in the buy column. It is labeled. The only place you can place a sell order is in the sell column. It is labeled. These columns are for information only. You can click there until you're blue in the face and nothing will happen. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you're trying to put an order and it's not going in, you're probably not clicking in the right column. All right. Okay, so that's stock tower. And keep in mind, stock tower has a lot of different settings too. I won't go through everything, but you know, there's all kinds of stuff you can do here. There's GTC, you can trade in the pre and post markets. There's auto trading, stop limit, all the things you would expect, and then some. There's trigger orders. Okay, and trigger orders we'll talk about more with options. That is a conditional order that is based on something else. So your order would actually execute if you set a trigger up based on something else happening. It could be the price of the option, the price of the spread. It could be the price of a stock, not necessarily the stock that you're trading. It could be the spiders, for instance. So we'll look at a trigger, but that's what a trigger represents with us. Okay, let's move over to the option chain. In the middle for me, I have it set up. I'll just leave the watch list here, so it'll kind of blink green and red every once in a while. Option chain, it's 2 types. There's this one, which is a little more static than our grid. Okay, so the grid, this button up in the top left, you can customize this grid very easily. I made it blue so you can see how it differs from the Trade Hawk orange behind me. But just know that these columns are all movable. You can move them all over the place. You can clearly remove columns, which I've done. That's in the columns tab down here. Double clicking on available brings them back over. Double clicking on selected brings them away. Okay, just make sure you save things. You can change fonts, you can change colors, sizes, etc. So a lot of customization here in this. Trading simple. You know, you've got tickets that you can move around and just leave them up for spreads and options. Some of the conditional orders as well. This is I'd say this is probably a little easier to work with multi-expiration kind of spreads, time spreads, diagonals, you know, that kind of stuff. This is where I use this. Otherwise, I typically use the option chain that's in the command center. Incidentally, that grid's great for multiple screen users. You can put that over on another screen. It doesn't dock itself inside the command center like this one does. Any of these things can be removed from the command center, just as a note. So just know that that can be done as well. But if you see this chain, it's pretty simple. Let me just go through it real quick. So when you come into the chain, you got to pick an expiration, right? We always default to the very nearest expiration. That's that. It will be white when you're in that expiration. That's your indication that you are looking at November 20th, 2020, 1 day to go, implied volatility in that month of 35.63, okay? Other notes, the months that look sort of like, I guess it's this, you might not be able to see it in the screen, grayish kind of color, okay, as opposed to this darker color here. So that's these are, we do everything color coded a lot. So the lighter ones are the weeklies, the dark ones are the regular monthlies. Okay, that's all that means, right? If you see blue in something that's like this color, that means you actually have a position in that month. Now, when you click on that month, it's not going to be blue anymore. It's going to be white because you can see your position in the position column. Okay, this will let you know that you're actually in that month.
Hey, Lex,
other place. Yep, go ahead. Sorry,
no worries. I didn't know if you wanted to take questions as you went or just at the end, because there's a little like orange question mark little bubble underneath like the drawing tools over on the panel. If you want to click on that, it'll show you questions. It's up to you. I just wanted to.
So can I go in the question tab and open it up? I'm actually not seeing any, but I remember I had this issue before. So let me find. I don't see the orange bubble yet, but I'll figure it out.
A couple quick questions. Any level 3 book map, etc.
Not so Tradier doesn't have those levels yet. We are working on that. That's going to come out in version 2.0. So we will have that for 2.0, which I said is probably, we're shooting for Q1, but we want to be a little conservative. So we're saying middle of Q2 for that.
Okay. Tina, what about if you don't want 100 orders able to overwrite? Question mark.
I'm not sure I understand that. What does that mean? If you don't want 100 orders?
Yeah, like was it 100 shares or 100?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's a great question. So settings page, okay? In the settings page, and this is a free floater, there is all kinds of stuff you can set. The beauty of this is you can have default settings uniquely for every single stock you trade. Okay, so if you notice in Apple, for instance, I don't do much with stocks. I never set it, and our default is 100 shares. Yes, you can change that easily. Okay, but if you look at my option stuff here, spread, so 1 and 2 lot in Apple. If I go to CAT, 10 and 15, and 1,000 shares is my default. So yeah, you can change that. It can all be set uniquely. If that isn't good enough, and you come here and you have shares, you can easily use the drop down, click another one, or you always have the option type. Okay. So you can go up by shares, down by shares, pick shares, or just type it in. Does that answer the question, Wiz, you think?
Yeah, you got it. Paul, do you have templates a new trader can load like yours?
Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely.
Okay, a couple more.
And what's even better, Wiz, sorry, is if your community has a branding of sorts of how your template wants to look, we'll create it for the whole group. Exactly. And we'll drop it into layout so that we'll put it in here, so that you can just click on it and save it as your default if that's meaningful. We can absolutely do
that's
that.
awesome, man, because yeah, we have a handful of tactics that I like to trade, so we can have those set up good to go. Yep. Werner's asking, where is in the money and out of the money marked?
Yeah, so let me show you. I'm going to expand this really big, okay?
And
so
then
what we
maybe you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I think you're going to do this anyway, but Mitch is saying, please demo a vertical spread. So maybe
I'll do that in a second.
Okay.
So what we do is when we come in to any month, we highlight it. I don't know if you can see that blue. Again, screen sharing is kind of interesting, but if you can see that blue, that is the at the money. Okay. So on the call side, this is in the money, obviously, and on the put side, that's in the money, and everything here is out of the money for a put, and everything here is in the money. Now, again, 2.0, we're color coding that. In this one, we're not going back to change that kind of stuff, right? But in 2.0, that'll all be color coded, and you'll get to choose the colors. The new version, very customizable. Okay, so that's what that means. These dotted lines are 1 standard deviation around at the money. These solid lines are 2. Again, keep in mind that stuff is a mathematical basis, and it's always based on time to expiration, right, and volatility. So we compute that in normalized fashion across the expiration chain, if you will. Okay, does that answer that question?
Yeah, that's good. Yep, go ahead.
Okay,
Thanks, man.
Cool. Yep. All right, let's get on to doing a few trades. So getting your month, first of all, let's do that. So I'm gonna I don't know why I'm messing around on December 18th, 2020. 29 days ago, 30.63 implied volatility. Okay. So the way you put a trade in, let's just do that first. You can see the strikes running right down the middle. Okay. The way I have it set up, I'm seeing a bid, an ask, and I use delta. You can change that stuff. There's all kinds of things you can change it to. Okay. If you want to see volume in this one, you can do that. You just choose it. You can see volume and open interest. You can see expected move, which is kind of a neat little calculation that shows based on the month in question. So you can see all that stuff there. That's kind of neat. But I like to see my positions. Even though I can see all that stuff here, we'll talk about that in a sec. I like to see my positions. So that's just my layout. To do a trade, we've got 3 modes. We got a straight option mode. We've got a spread mode. Okay, and we've got what we call an option tower, which is the same orientation as a stock tower. Okay, some people don't like option towers. They can remove it and save it without that. Understood. I use this a lot because I like to go fast. So this is really fast. I'll show you that in a sec. All right, straight option. All you need to do is click on what you want to trade. Be in the option ticket. Okay, if you want to buy the at the money, click it. If you click the bid, it's going to fill in that price in your price box. If you click the ask, it will fill in that price. If you click between the bid and the ask, it will fill the midpoint. Okay. Further, you can set it in the ticket to fill in whatever you set. In this example, I have midpoint turned on. It is green. If I click anywhere, it will always fill in the midpoint of the option. Okay, when it's green. The cool thing about this is that when you have this chosen as green, when the midpoint changes, so will your price automatically. So it's almost like you can kind of just sort of hang on to midpoint in this example, and as it changes and it gets to a place where you want to go, you can crack the correct button to send that order out. Okay, again, sizes are governed by your defaults. If you don't have one, we do 1 and 2 lots for options and spreads, but it's certainly settable. If you don't like the size, you can choose a new one or go up by the amount. Watch that number change, right? I'm going to go up or down by the amount. Pretty simple. Green pluses go up, red minuses go down. Okay. Day we default to, but there's GTC. We default to limit. We do that for a reason. We feel market orders are a little scary, but you can do them. Stop, limit, stop. And there's all kinds of conditionals. Okay. The other note, trade options, right? They make us mark close and open. That's just a regulatory thing for us right now. I think we're getting away from that in 2.0, but don't fear. The stuff you should be pressing will be colorized automatically based on your position. If you see it grayed out a little bit, probably a button you don't want to hit, but if you do, okay, which I'll do, you will get the old nasty reject down here, and it tells you that what the reject was. So essentially we're protecting ourselves from making mistakes. Okay, so buy to opens colored correctly, you have no position. Sell to opens colored correctly, you have no position. So if you do either a buy or sell, it's going to be an opening trade in this example. Okay. Another feature you can do is you can save these trades for later. That's called staging. So for straight options, we have staging. You can put that in the stager. It's a free floating template. It comes off the main little menu, and you can pull that up, and you can put all your orders in there for execution at a future time. And those can have triggers set on them if you'd like. To execute at certain stock prices or spread prices, option prices, etc. Okay, so that's what staging is. If you need a preview, okay, we have a preview button. Turn it on, turn it off as you prefer. If it's on, you're going to get the old graph, and you can squinch in and see it tighter if you want. I always tell folks, and you can see different dates, by the way, of what this does. There's a bigger risk simulation in another module. But I like to tell folks, if you're going to use this, you typically look at what the margin's going to be, what the order cost is going to be, that sort of things. If you like this trade, send it. If you don't, exit out, start over. That's what preview on is. I never use it. I leave it off, and I just go about my business hitting these things. Okay. We're gonna get to spreads in a sec. Let's just talk about triggers because they work similarly with spreads. So I just hit the trigger buy button. Okay, and just to get an idea what this does. Trigger is a conditional based on something else. In this case, I'm trying to buy this Apple Dees 18th expiration, the 112 call, right? I have it set for 745 is my limit, but I want to do it based on Apple, the underline. So it's very easy. You don't have to know code to do this. Just click on it. Apple, use the underline. If it trades, and I'm just going to make this up, less than 117, then what? I want to send this order out, and I don't know what the order is necessarily. I can figure that out with our calculator and our analysis tool, but you know what? I'm happy to buy the midpoint of the option when this happens. Create, okay? So I created this order, and remember, it's going to execute or at least send the order out when Apple trades less than 117. It's trading 117.89, okay? So what's cool about these kind of orders, these trigger orders and our conditionals, they sit inside the system, and the market making community cannot see them and therefore cannot lean on them. Okay, so they don't know you're hiding out there waiting to do your order. In our world, I was a market maker. We leaned on everything. Okay, we wanted to see that book as market makers because we knew how to behave. So this is a very clever little order that prevents them from looking into what you're doing. Okay, that's a trigger. I'll leave it out there. Maybe it'll trigger when it goes. All right, so. Wiz, I don't know if there's any questions about trade entry or not, but fire them away if you have them. I'm going to move on to spreads now.
Oh, yeah, hang on one second. I was on mute there.
I wish I saw that little button because I am really struggling with that. I see questions, but I don't see any.
There's a little, you have to like pop it out. There's like a little like yellow bubble or orange bubble.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom.
Tina says it triggers to my SMS. That's the only question.
Yeah, you can set SMS in here, certainly. I do it all the time because I'm notorious. I don't know, that's probably the right word, for getting up with leaving orders out and forgetting that I left them out. So what I do is there's a way to set notifications on your cell phone. You do that in the off the main little menu. Let me pull that little menu up so you know what I'm talking about. It's this guy here. So this guy hides all over the place. He's a little bitty thing here, very compact. I'll put it up here. But under miscellaneous, SMS notifications, just choose it, right? It's gonna, I'm on two screens, so sorry, I have everything open up on the other screen. So it's gonna give you the disclaimer, blah, blah, blah. You gotta agree to it, and then type your phone number in and hit start. Okay, then whenever orders fill, you're gonna get text messages. Okay, so that's how that works. If you choose to send alerts via the SMS functionality, that'll also send you a text as well. Okay, awesome. You want to go through a few of these, Wiz, or you want me to just keep rolling?
You can keep rolling. That's good.
I finally figured out where this is. Okay, so
there you go. Yeah, the last question is Werner. Is there a presentation of risk and profit % of a trade? Yeah, so we'll go through that in one sec. Let's do a spread and then roll that in. How's that sound? Good.
Okay, I'll do it now. Spreads. Just click spread. Okay, number one. Spread ticker looks a little different. You can see this black area here. Let's call that the scratch pad. The way we do spreads, a couple ways. And I know everyone in the retail world gets a little confused at first, but once you get used to it, it's nice. Know that in 2.0 we will make it a setting and you can choose your path. So let's go through it. I'm going to do a put credit spread. I think maybe was asked, all right, but let's do that anyway. So I'm going to do the 100 105 put credit spread. Now we do it different. We think like market makers, unfortunately. When we put buy legs in, we click on bids. When we put sell legs in, we click on offers. Okay. Green legs are buy legs, red legs are sell legs. Again, visual. So right now I know that I have a credit spread in here because I know what one looks like quickly. Okay. The other thing, we tell you it's a vertical spread. We call it a short put vertical spread. The word credit appears here. Okay. If you're trying to do a credit spread and that word does not appear there, then you're doing something wrong. Okay, so if I did it the typical way that the retail world does, I would click on the offer for my buy leg and the bid for my sell leg. Well, notice I just did that and it did the opposite. So I'm trying to do a credit spread and it says debit. Uh-oh, not doing it right according to how TradeHawk operates. I'm just going to flip it. I just flipped it. You see all the colors change, flips over to the credit spread. So you can flip it if you do it backwards. It takes a little getting used to. By the time you get used to it, the new version is going to be out and you're going to be able to customize that and do it the way you like, okay? But that's one catch. If you don't like a leg, you say, you know what, I don't like that 107.5 leg, you can remove it, okay? And then click on the new leg. That's easy. The way I like doing it better, if I don't like the 115 and I want to move it to the 105, you can just left click on that big red icon and just move it down there and left click a second time to drop it. The beauty of that is your spread value will change as you do that. So watch this 31 cents. I'll do it again. I'll move it up to the 110. Left click, move it up, left click. So I got a new value. I got a 101. So what's cool about that is you can play around with the legs visually and see the changing of the price if you're looking for a certain price. The other cool thing is, if remember, left click, right click. If you right click on either leg, now you can move this whole spread. Now notice the numbers are changing as I do this. So if you had a need to get a farther from at the money to 1 standard deviation or 2 standard deviations or different price, you do that easily. And when you find it, you just left click to drop that baby and it's there, ready to roll. Again, you can always update your sizes. If you don't like what you chose for your default, you can always update your prices. I'm a big clicker and drop downer, but don't forget, you can always type in things. So if I want to get a 50-cent price there, just type it in, okay? Same preview functionality. Okay, you can see a little bit of risk. You can go over different times, etc. Margin kind of stuff. Send if you want to send. Exit out if you want to start over. Okay, what if? Back to the question. Risk analysis. This is where you're going to see all kinds of craziness. You can go nuts. So you'll see all your Greeks over different price levels. How much you can, max profits, max losses, all kinds of crazy stuff in here. You can look at this in percentage terms, which I used, or price terms. All these boxes can be changed, right? If you don't like a price range of 5, make it something you like. If you want to see more detail, make it something you like. And again, drop downs also work, but I'm typing. This price is goofy because you want to see just a solid price. Make that what you want, and then just readjust the prices and everything rolls in. So there's a lot of analysis that can go on here. If you want to see tighter what these are, you can just grab it. Just a swoop across will get rid of it. Incidentally, this is one of the few changes we're making in 1.0 is you're getting a new version here. So right now you can put in positions. If you don't like what you see, you can add position. We're making this way cooler. So what you're going to get in this probably mid next week is it's all done. We're just debugging. Is you'll be able to add positions right on the spot. So you can pull this up, stays on top, right? And you'll be able to just take it over to the option chain. You put in, just add as much as you want. You can click things on, click things off to kind of look at how it affects risk by adding those trades. Trade those new trades if you want. All that kind of good stuff in there. You'll be able to set all your slivers and slices of one SD around the middle price to see what the probability is of all that. That's all in this Wednesday release. Okay, so know that that's coming there. Okay, I'm looking. I can see the questions now, Wiz, so I'm checking that out. Yes. So let me answer Paul's answer. Is there a way of setting sell and close for options? So not necessarily sell and close. You can set it to you can certainly set the trigger to do that to sell on at that time. So you can do that, but we don't have a timing feature. Again, unfortunately, as a 2.0, we learn these things as we interact with a lot of our customer base. So that would be in our new strategy. I'm sorry, stager. Apologize. That's coming in that, and you'll be able to set it based on time of day. So the functionality there would be closing orders. You can turn them on. I'm just making this up. 8:45 in the morning. I'm on Central Time. Turn them off 2:50 in the afternoon, right before the close, if you want. So yeah, that'll be on there as well, Paul. Okay. The other thing about spreads, I'm gonna clear this out. You can make custom spreads. So if I wanted to do this vertical, I can right click and there's a little spread button, right? So guess what happens? I have custom spreads, crazy custom spreads. I made these. Again, don't look at what I do because there's so many goofy ones. I just kind of clean this up. There's also standard spreads. So butterflies, credit spread, verticals, etc. So if you chose a long butterfly, it would fill it in. Okay, it fills it right in. If you don't like your legs, you can do that little method that we talked about, right? And change that butterfly up. The other good news is you can create spreads with custom. Okay, I won't go through this right on this one because I know we're running a little long, but you can create any spread you want. You can name it whatever you want. It can be in weird ratios, whatever you do on a regular basis, you can create it. If you can't do it, we will create it for you and put it into your layout. Okay, so you give it a try. I can log onto a screen share with folks. We do it all the time. And help you set that up if you can't figure it out, and get the spreads that you do all the time up there. Okay, and keep in mind, if you trade NVIDIA $500 stock versus trading Twitter, a much less price stock, and you want to be 5 strikes apart in Twitter and you want to be 20 strikes apart in NVIDIA, you can set that up specifically and name it NVIDIA 20 strike. And again, that's my name. You can name it whatever you want, so that would signify to you how to do that. Okay. I don't even know what some of these are. I made these up so long ago, but there's a spread I did, 3-way spread, right? I just clicked on it. It's called the Lex 3-way synthetic. So all that did was I bought the call, sold a put, and bought a protective put underneath. Okay. And incidentally, what's nice about this is that the protective put is covering something that I'm already short, right? And the system automatically knows it's a closing order. It'll say C, and O is for opening. So it automatically will pick that up. You never have to think about that sort of stuff with these spreads. I talked about preview. What if sends it to the big graph. Staging puts it into the launcher for later if you want it. Another feature we have is you can manage your strategies off of here. Okay, I won't go too depth because I'm looking at the time and I want to keep it rolling. But strategies allow you to create spreads and, for lack of a better term, strategies. So in this example, I did an iron condor. Okay. You can adjust this iron condor. If you have to buy the put leg, the put wings in, and then you want to roll it out to a new month, you can keep track of all that kind of stuff in this little compartment. And I'm in spiders here in this example. So this is a spider long I can do. Imagine if you had 10 different strategies in spiders. What this allows you to do is have a look at all 10 of them separately. What most brokerage firms do is they give you a portfolio page with a hodgepodge of options. Okay, now what we do in TradeHawk is we allow you to carve that stuff out in strategy and or carve it out into spreads. Okay, so you just know that you can do that in this system with our clicks. So you can see that I've carved this Apple Lex Strangle, I called it. Okay, it's a short strangle. I carved it out. Why? Because it's in a month that I have other positions on. I've got a 50 lot and a 7 lot and the 2 short 25 lots. I don't know what that is. I needed to pull that out. So I did. I pulled it out, named it something. I have my own spread. It gives me the cost and the current value, okay, of that trade in its bundle. If I look at the cost for this whole November expiration, I get some goofy number that doesn't mean anything to me because all the other options are included in there. Well, I just said, okay, great. I'll just pull it out, either strategy or spread builder. Either way works. So now I can see I had a credit of 222. It's trading 12 cents. Hooray. I short it, so I'm making some money. How much money am I making? Right there. So everything's easy to read if you know what you're looking at, right? And we'll just go right down the columns in this portfolio page. Description of the option, A to Z. We do it that way. Version 2.0, you will be able to sort and customize, okay? DTE is days to expiration. I set alerts for myself when days to expiration gets less than a number. I want to know about it, especially if I see this little ITM button, which means in the money. Then I get scared. I don't want to get stock necessarily, and I'll go about my business of rolling that thing out or closing it, okay? This column is just a position. Let me erase some of this stuff. Next column, total. That's just P&L, dollars. That's all it is. We sum things up. So let's just look at Apple. I'm in Apple, right? I've got equity, which is stock for us. I'm long 5,200 shares, okay? And we're just looking at P&L. P&L, you can see every little sliver of P&L, and I'm drawing an arrow up, okay? So it all works up. You can see every detail if you want. And then you check your Apple P&L out on the top line, and that's what your P&L is in Apple in this example, okay? And you can see how it itemizes, right? You can trade from here too. Before I say that, cost P&L, I want to make a note of this. So what cost P&L means is this is the P&L of inception of this position, okay, of what I have on. This is all open stuff that I have in my inventory. I have not closed this out. It's unrealized, okay? So that's what cost P&L is, at the beginning of this position. If I hit mark to market, I get a lot of questions on this. Mark to market, again, maybe a little bit more of a market making term. It's your P&L from last night's close. So it's your day P&L, right? This is how I'm doing today. So you can see the difference, $600 today versus going back. There's a nice big number of, you know, $500,000 in this portfolio. Okay, so that's the difference. So you'll absolutely see a difference by choosing those two numbers. Okay, you can look at cost based on average price. Again, I'm more of a trader, so this makes more sense to me. But if this doesn't make sense to you, you can do position cost. What's the difference? Position cost means you're going to take where you bought or sold these options and stock. For options, you're going to multiply by 100, and you're going to multiply by your position. You don't have to do any of that multiplications. It's all done for you here. That's what position cost is. Cost per share or cost per contract does a similar thing, but it only shows you based on a one lot, not based on your position. Me as a trader, I want to see average price because that makes the most sense to me. For example, if I sold this spread at 222 and it's trading 12 cents, I already know I'm up money, and I can see that P&L right away, and I'm on my way to getting out. Click, fills it in to close, right? Ready to go. Just my price. I'm going to get out of this thing at 12 cents, right? Right in the midpoint for now. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to get out at 10 cents. I'm going to make 2 cents more. 25, closing, send. That order is already out in the marketplace, ready to close. Okay, so it's ready to go that fast if you want to do it that fast. Okay. If you want to be a little bit more judicious about getting out of these things, I see a question on this one. When you're in the portfolio page and you want to do it as a spread, you can just click on each leg if you want. It will fill in the closing leg for you. It fills in default size. The difference between clicking here and doing it here is that we do full size when you pull it in as a bundle, okay? And if you click on each leg, we do default size. We did that on purpose. We assume you're closing things here, and when you want to do you might not want to do all the full amount, okay? And you can always set the amount over here. If you only want to do one of two, go ahead and do it. It's fine. Okay, so here's another good example. If I want to do a three-way spread, notice the 225 lots we talked about. I got a 50 lot and a 7 lot. So my gosh, I want to get rid of, you know, I want to do this 25 lot, this 50 lot, and this 25 lot, right? And it's in a 1:2:1 ratio. So I just made it like that. There it is, a goofy spread, right? So I can get out of that all in one piece if I want, just by clicking here. Okay, I hope that answers that question. So just keep in mind, I see it's really simple once you, and this is new, so I get it. All I did was I'm just looking at my inventory, okay? And look, at most people are gonna have inventory. I'm gonna look for one that's easy. You're gonna have inventory that looks like this. I mean, maybe not 200 by 100, but you're gonna have, you know, maybe one little strategy here. It's 2:1. I can click on these to fill them in, okay? If I click a second time here, it fills in the ratio. That's all. It's that simple. Okay, if you don't like that, you can right click in here and it tells you what your spread is, and you can just go grab it and send it to the ticket. It'll do everything in its full closing mode to send it out. So this is how we work from the portfolio page. Okay, that's how you do it. If you're doing just single options, again, I'll go back to this Apple guy, this 50 lot. You can right click on this and just rip that option right out. Okay, you can sell 50 at the bid, mid, ask, or market, right? All limits there unless you choose market. So it's just a quick way of getting out. You can put trailing stops on this, brackets, which are big combinations of OCOs or OCOs in actuality. So you can do all that right from here, okay? So it's super efficient when you know your keystrokes. It just takes a little practice. I've heard people, you know, we do these private demos. You can do that online with us, and we do one-on-one demos, and we talk to each other. They come in there, oh man, it's gonna be hard to learn, and they get through it, and within 2 days, we get back on the thing, maybe 3, they are ripping around this thing like you can't believe. So don't get intimidated. Everything new is a little crazy, but you'll get to it, okay? Hey, Wiz, I think I'm gonna stop there. I know I've been going long, unless you want me, you have specific things you want me to hit on. So I didn't want to go too much longer than 40 minutes. Is that cool?
Yeah, whatever you feel, man. There's a bunch of other questions if you want to pop those open and go through those.
Yep, looking now. If you see something, go ahead and fire away. You're better at this than I am, so I'll try to.
Can you add a stop order to an open position at a limit price?
Yes. So if you, let me just define it. So if you have an order, let me pick one that's easy. I just don't know what I have. Sorry. I'll show you how to do that. 1 second. I got mostly spreads in here, unfortunately. Okay, here's a 5 lot. What is that in? That's in spiders. Okay. So see this little 5 lot down here? Right here. It's a 354 call. It's in the money. It's a good order to do this with. Okay. So what I can do is, again, back to right click. I can right click on that order and hit trailing stop. Okay. Now we have 2 different kinds of trailing stops. We have an advanced and we have a simple. Simple is what it is. You're going to trail something, the bid, mid, or ask by either a dollar amount or a percentage. You choose. Okay. So let's pretend we want to trail it by 25 cents. Again, I'm just totally making this up. It's trading 310. I want to trail it by 25 cents. When it triggers, it defaults to market in this example, but you certainly can trail it at the limit. So what does that mean? When the 308 bid happens, okay, and you send that out, it's going to go at limit price at whatever that bid is at the time. That's the limit part of it. If you want to get filled, you would choose market. The good part about limit is you can do what we call pay up. All that means is that we are limit price plus some value. So if you're selling this option and you put 10 cents in there, it's going to go bid minus 10 cents. It's going to try to get 10 more cents. So that's just making sure you get filled without having a market on it. That could be infinity. Does that make sense, Wiz?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's the answer to that one. You can go market or limit on that trailing stop as well. And you can do that with spreads too. Okay, I'm still looking. If you see these, go ahead and fire them out.
Yeah, Mitch says, can I add a note anywhere to a particular trade, which is where I record my commit criteria, why I got into the trade?
Yeah, so what I would say there is do that in your strategy tracker, okay? So I'm in this same strategy. I clicked on it's blue. If I go into edit mode, okay, you can go nuts with notes. First of all, it was auto created. We tell you that all automatically. And I'm just going to make something up. Did this trade with, and I can't type, Top Gun, okay? So I get just an example of what you can do. So when you save that, okay, and you go back and you say, did this trade with Top Gun, infinite number of words you can put in here, okay, in terms of making notes to yourself about all this. I do it all the time, actually. So, yep.
Let's see.
Synthetics. Can you do synthetic stock?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, synthetic stock, right? So I'll do synthetic long stock in Apple. Again, I'm going to use the at the money. Let's just do a long version. Buy the call, sell the put. So we call it synthetic long stock, and we put combo in there for some unknown reason. Midpoint price, adjust your price accordingly, right? Send it out. That's simple. And you can, I can't remember if I have that, if we have that as a standard spread. Oh, yeah, we do. So you can also do it as a standard spread. So if you click on it here, under standard, down here, synthetic long or synthetic short, it'll fill that in as well. Either way works. Okay. I'm looking at these questions, Wiz.
Yeah, let me take a look. What
can you add a stop order? Okay. It said, can you add a stop? I think it's similar. Can you add a stop order to an open position at a limit price? We answered that one already. The other thing that's cool, I forgot to show you this. This is pretty neat. So we have advanced orders too. Okay, so I just hit the advanced order thing. Again, this floats around. This is an OTOCO order. Now, why it's called that, it stands for one triggers, one cancels other. All this means is that, let's pretend I want to buy the 117.5 call on Apple. Okay, I'll just put it right underneath it so you can see the market right here. And let's just pretend I want to pay 430. What's cool about this order is it gives you can make it a limit or market, but it puts your price in. Okay, again, adjustable by just typing in here or clicking. And then it sends out a profit level and a stop level. Okay, so what does this mean? Not filled yet on this order. This is the Starbucks order. What I mean by that is put this order out and you can go to Starbucks because the rest will be managed. Once you're filled, you have a profit area, you have a stop area, system will do the work. Okay, so that it's called an OTOCO. So it's like you have a order sitting out there, triggers. Now I'm protected after it triggers. You don't have to do anything once you've set your limits. These values can be set in your settings page if you want to make specific things, percent and or dollar amounts. I always use dollar amounts. Again, old trader, that's why I do it. But you can set all that uniquely in settings, or if you before you set this up, you can say, okay, I don't like 530, I want it to be $6. Type whatever you want in and then hit send. Okay, I won't do that, but that's what you can do. And there's OCOs you can do. There's OTOs that you can do. That's just buy one option or sell one option and shoot out another one after it. So there's, the point of the matter there was is that there's many different order types, which I know, some people like those, some people don't, but they do exist here. All right, looking through. So note on chart, yeah, because I note on chart. I see a couple questions on the charting. Yeah, so we have a new beta version. Again, back to the 2.0 discussion. The charting is all changing. This charting package is not as customized. The new version, which we already have, we're giving out to a select group of users right now in beta. Again, as you can imagine, it's totally configurable, totally customized. You can draw all over. It can be white, it can be black, dark background, light background, all that kind of good stuff. You can set your moving averages. They can be 17, 22, 94, whatever you want. Okay, so that's in the beta. And Wiz, if you actually had a few folks that wanted to give that a shot, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
So that is beta. I've been messing around with it. Obviously, what beta means is that I'm trying to break it. Is essentially what that means. They say, hey, Lex, go break this. And I've figured out a way to break it a couple of times. So we can't release it at large until we fix all the breaking. So it's a little process, but that's gonna be coming out soon. 2.0 already in the works. Really cool. Full trading off the chart. Okay, so you can do that now. I won't go into it too much, but you can trade off the charts now, create spreads off of there. New version, you'll be able to do all of the order types that we will offer off of the chart. Okay, that's what we're working on in that 2.0 charting package. Pretty cool. Even OCOs, OTOCOs, all that stuff will be visual, so you can just click and drag your orders to here. So just an FYI there. I got filled on something. So when you hear that ding, by the way, I'm doing a lot of stuff a lot of times. So that ding means I got something happen in my account. How do I know where to look? It's called an event log. I just circled it. Event log is equal to your USA Today headline news. Okay, this is what's going on in your world, in your trading account, and the top line is the most recent news right there. So because I know the colors well, that blue I know is a fill. Okay, that little, when I say blue, that little guy right there. I heard the ding. I immediately look where my event log is. I see I'm filled. I can see my prices. Guess what? That's now it. That was my closing trade, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm trying to get this drawing tool off. And I'm going to my portfolio page, and I'm on QQQs. I apologize. I wasn't paying attention. So there's my new QQQ trade right there in the portfolio page, ready to roll. I'm going to close it out. Why? I did it for a 223 credit. Okay. I'm just going to throw it in the ticket real quick. Send it to ticket, full closing amount. So if I did it for a credit, I got to buy it back for a debit. Well, good news. I see debit. Not even thinking. I know I did it for 223. I got to buy it less than that. So let's go down here just for fun. And I'm making this up because I'm going to go 175. That seems like enough money for today, and hit send. So that order's out there being ready to close. Okay. Already done in the marketplace. I'm watching it. I could put a stop on it and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just gonna let it go for a while. Okay. So there's one that we had go right like that. Okay. Any other questions on there, Wiz, do you think?
Will your new charting have VWAP?
Yeah, this version has VWAP too. Yeah, of course, we'll have that. There's a VWAP button. There's a TWAP button. I know that the new moving averages template, whatever you want to call it, it's got so many mathematical versions of SMAs, EMAs, all kinds of craziness. I wish I had pulled that up before I started. I gotta have them put that on my computer. I could have shown you that stuff. I'll do that next time. We'll do the new charts next time.
Paul's asking, how is the fill performance on high volume days?
I know I've been reading a lot about that problem in other places. One of my teammates at Tradier kind of made a little snarky comment when some of the other big legacy brokers were having a few issues and we were having none. So we were one of those big volume days. So we've been pretty good. Do we ever have an issue? I'm not going to say that. That's impossible to say. There are issues in the online space when you're using internets and that sort of thing. That if people tell you there's never issues, they're not telling you the truth. There are issues. We tend to have a contained number of issues that are not insurmountable and don't cause very many problems for any length of time at all. So look, I'm a market maker by birth, right? I've done this at the highest level, and we were all connected all exchanges. So I know what speed is and fill time, and I'm not disappointed with the trade year version. It's very comfortable to someone who expects a lot. I can say that straight out. Very happy with it.
Okay, good. A couple more. Can you create strategies for automated trading?
What do you think that means, Wiz? I think I know what that means, but what do you think is the point of that one?
I think just have, like you covered earlier, like set,
Okay.
different tactics that are already kind of preloaded, like templates.
Yeah, you can do that in our stage. Let me try to pull that up while we're thinking here.
Yes.
So again, free floating template. I can tell you what this is. Again, I love 2.0. I promise next time I'll bring some 2.0 looks. It's totally different. You're gonna love it. Anyhow, there's a lot of stuff in here, right? I put in some Facebook stuff. I've got all kinds of craziness in here, right? So notice what I can do. I can put these things in here. I can set these up. I can create triggers on all this stuff. Okay, so all these spreads I can create triggers on. The cool thing is too is that if I click on one of these, it fills it in my ticket. Okay, so I just filled in that Facebook four-way spread. There's all kinds of ratios and craziness there. If I click on this one, it fills it in the ticket, right? Anything you can click on fills it in your tickets, ready to roll. You can set triggers and strategies on each one of these. Doesn't go to a ticket, just goes into its strategy mode. So what does that mean? That means if I do this, and I say, again, I'm not even paying attention to what the spread is, but I say, you know what? I want to do that spread, and I want to do it in Facebook. I don't know, trades greater than 300. I'm just making that up. Okay, create. So you can go nuts with this stuff and just go right down the line. So yes, answer is yes. I'm going to cancel that Facebook, by the way. It just went right here. And remember, strategies live here. No market makers poking at you with strategies and the conditionals.
Okay, cool. Last one, Robert. I think you already. Can I write my own studies? For example, a John Carter squeeze.
Yeah, I know John. I know John Carter. Great guy. Simpler. I guess a competitor, Wiz. So, yeah. You in this, we're pushing that into 2.0. It's all done. What we have there is back testing for strategies. We're going to do it two ways. If you're a coder, which most people probably aren't, you'll be able to code your strategy. So you can do the John Carter squeeze if you know the mathematics, let's say, to that. You can do it point and click. So what I mean by that is, let's just take a simple example. You can say, here's my new indicator. It's called the Top Gun indicator. And I'm, again, totally making it up. If RSI is greater than 80 and MACD does this and does that, and you're going to be able to click and click and click, and I want to save it as the Top Gun whatever strategy, and you can do that. Absolutely have that functionality coming in this. It's already there. I've seen it. It's very cool. You can go nuts with it. Okay.
Okay. Last one. Let's asking for a quick demo of rolling a spread.
Sure. Okay. Let's do it this way. I'm on my Apple thing. I got 1 day to go. I've got this little. I mean, it's almost worthless. But let's say I want to roll it. So I'm going to put it in. I put the closing part of this thing, and I want to roll a strangle out. So this is a short strangle. I'm short 25 of each of these options, right? So the 124 call and the 113 put. It's expiring in a day. I got to get out of it. I want to buy it back and then get into a new one in a further out month. So I got it. I got the closing legs in there. All I did was click on it, and I'm just going to make it up. I want to go out to December, okay? And I'm going to do. Actually, I don't want to go out to December. I'm going to go out to February. Get some more juice on this thing. So I'm going to go out to February, and I am going to just sell that strangle. And again, there's no rhyme or reason why I'm picking these. I'm just showing you how to do it. So notice what it did, okay? And I'll draw real quick, and we'll get done. Closing. C's stand for closing. That's how I got it in off of my portfolio page. I already had that position on. All I did was click on it, fills it in. O stands for opening, right? There's my new trade right there. So I've got a closing element to it, and I've got an opening element to it. Now, it doesn't have to be like this. You don't have to use those strikes. If you decide, by the way, you don't like this one, just move it up a little bit and get something else. The whole spread is a package. So you got one price for the whole deal. Okay, it's a credit spread. Don't have to know that, but you're buying some cheap stuff in, you're selling some more expensive stuff out, and that's the credit part of it. Don't have to think about it. Just know that you can change these prices, hit the send button. When that fills, your closing legs are done and your opening legs are done. Now, why did I get that reject? Again, this is a good example. I have something out there already that I did, so it won't let you go beyond what you're trying to do. Okay, so that's what happened there. So it'll reject you for that. So don't get frustrated with the reject. It's protecting you from yourself. I do it all the time, by the way, but I'm not paying attention. When I'm talking fast. So anyway, sorry about that, Wiz. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I just canceled what my problem was and I put it back out. So yeah, I don't know if you talked about pricing with everyone.
No,
you want me to do that real quick?
Yeah, wrap it up on that.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up on that. So Wiz has some special pricing. If you want to use this product, we have two ways to do this, and we have a second way just for you guys. For the real active folks who trade a lot, 65 cents a contract gets really expensive. We don't do that. If you trade a lot and you want the unlimited package with Top Gun and Wiz, it's $60 a month, unlimited commission-free trading. Okay, that's number one. Now you've got to do a little analysis for yourself. If you're trading 3 contracts a month, that clearly doesn't make any sense. So for you folks who don't trade a lot, we have the Top Gun Pro package, okay? And that's just 35 cents a contract. You can choose either one. So there's a Top Gun 35 per contract, and there's a Top Gun Unlimited $60, okay? So what I tell folks is, $60, 35 cents, so let's just divide that out. And how many contracts is that? That's about 171 contracts. So you have to trade more than 171 to break even at 60 bucks. So you know how much you're doing as a trader. We have traders who trade thousands, so obviously that unlimited deal makes sense. If you're trading much less than that, use that $35 Pro plan. Make sense, Wiz?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Anybody have questions about the pricing or anything like that? I think it's a fantastic deal. Is that we give them the same URL? Try Tradier.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you want the Pro package, we don't advertise that. That's special for you guys. So I would just send an email to service, Tradier service, and say I want the Pro package. I talked to Lex, and that's what I want. And it's just great. Really is great.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
I can't stress enough the tour method, meaning if you go to our website, there's a button. It's just tradier.com. Okay. Can I type in this thing? Can I put a link out there or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Real quick, while you're typing, Robert's asking, will you accept customers from Europe?
It depends where, and it's not a Trade Hawk issue. It's a Apex issue, our clearing agent. So let's just call them green, yellow, red countries. So certain countries they can't do business with, other ones they can. So it's a case by case. But I don't necessarily know the list off the top of my head, but they can certainly help you with that.
He said UK or France. Do you know that?
France, I'm pretty sure yes. I don't think UK we can. UK and Canada and Australia for some reason are pretty difficult. Did that go through? I tried to put that in. So no, I put that little Calendarly thing out there. That's a link so you can pick your time to do a one-on-one with us. We can help you set up. You can talk as long as you want. It's 45 minutes. We'll go as long as you want. We'll record it. We'll send you the recording. It's your own little tutorial, custom video. Okay, if you want to use that.
Awesome. All right, a couple more real quick. Ryan, any additional fees for qualified IRAs?
Not that I know of. Again, I'd love to refer people to service. Let me just put that in the box too. They handle all that stuff. They hate when I start talking about brokerage things because of the compliance and regulatory things. So I'm just gonna put this in. One sec. Okay. So no. Did that go through? Yeah. Service@tradierbrokerage.com. All those questions can be answered there. If I know something generally, I'll fire it away, but I don't want I don't want to step on feet and not say the right thing relative to brokerage. But yeah, I think, that I don't think there is, but I would just double check there.
Better Trading is saying actually there are $30 annually for IRAs. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
Warner,
I can find out.
back to cost for smaller traders is 35 cents per contract, ?
Yes, that's right.
Yep, exactly. Do Trade Hawk and Trade Your web trades go through the same execution?
Yeah, they do. They go to the same spot. If you are a TradeHawk customer, you have access to TradeHawk Mobile, TradeHawk, and then the Dash platform, which is their web-based version. But it's obviously much simpler. It's very, very easy to put in orders, but very simple. Not a lot of functionality. But you have access to both. So everything updates. So if you're doing a trade here in TradeHawk and it fills, it'll show in both places, on the web and on TradeHawk and on mobile.
Okay, perfect. All right, folks. Any other comments, questions, oh by the ways, or smart remarks? Okay, good, Lex. I think that's perfect, man. Thanks for the for the hospitality. These folks are easily accessible. So reach out to them. They're dedicated. They'll get right back to you. And like Lex said, they can do those one-on-one demos. So a lot of good comments in the chat box, Lex. Hopefully you'll be phone ringing off the hook here in a little bit. Here, let me just give you the for folks who weren't here with the last time. This right here. So go ahead, Lex. You can wrap up, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, great. And so thanks. And then, Wiz, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I really want to have you on Options Brew, which is our streaming interview or TV show with folks like yourself. So it's a great way for you to put out content to the community. We'll talk options for about 40 minutes. We did one last night with some stock pickers. So please go to Options Brew TV on YouTube. Great stuff out there, and Wiz would love to have you on. I think
absolutely, yeah. Let's get together offline. I'd love to be on there.
Perfect.
It's a deal. All right, guys. Good. I'll get the replay posted here shortly on the Full Throttle page, and we'll get Lex back here in the near future for another one of these demos. Okay. Thanks for coming, Lex.
Awesome.
And everybody have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.
All good. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.